the Yep, I Like Wrestling podcast.
You see what I did there?
Are you gonna start?
Oh, yeah. Yep, I like wrestling.
Greetings, reports unknown. My name is Sonny Sofrito, and today I am joined by
Curvin, a.k.a. KD Swagger, the co-founder of Yep, I Like Wrestling.
Bro, you know you don't have to announce your title every single time you come on the episode.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's the introduction. That's what I'm supposed to. I have to let everyone know that I am the co-founder of Yep, I Like Wrestling.
Okay. Hey, you know what? I don't say I'm the creator and co-founder of Yep, I Like Wrestling every single time I come on, but hey, whatever floats your boat, no problem.
Yeah, but that's your decision. My decision is to say that I am the co-founder. People have to know whether they know it or not.
All right, so those of you listening, every time you see him in the street, just say, "Oh, you're the co-founder of Yep, I Like Wrestling," and you know, bow down and kiss the ring and whatever else you want to do.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's exactly how it is. I'm proud of you, Sonny. That's a good one right there.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Now I'm going to make sure everyone does that.
Yeah, those of you listening, don't do that. Right now, so right now, hey, it's me and you talking. We had a great event great two events this past weekend, and you know, we're gonna talk a little bit about War Games, a little bit about Survivor Series, but you know what? I feel like we need someone else because you know it was Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT, and maybe we should bring in a third person. What do you think?
We can't do this just me and you.
We can, but I think it might be fun if we have a third person.
I mean, it's gonna be hard to find a third person. This is like the biggest travel day and the biggest hangout day, the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving Eve.
That's right. Thanks for bringing that up. It is Thanksgiving Eve right now, so
we might have to call like 3-4 people before someone picks up their phone. Who's gonna want to talk to us on this day?
You know,
I mean, they'll talk to me, but I don't know about you.
I think I got an idea who to call. I think I have an idea. I'm pretty sure that we could get this person easily. You know what?
All right, I trust you.
Let me go through my phone and let me see. Go through the Rolodex right now and see.
Pick a name out of a hat.
Pretty much, right? It's basically that's what I'm doing. So the phone's dialing. Let's see. Okay. And let's see if they pick up.
Welcome to Burger King. How may I help you? Please pull around.
Yes, I would like to have a cheeseburger with fries, please.
You want the Whopper?
You want the Whopper?
I want my Whopper with double cheese.
Gotcha.
Okay.
What kind of drink you want, man?
One Brugal. Do you have Brugal in the menu?
Fuck is Brugal, man? Yo, Tyrone, we got Brugal. What the fuck is Brugal, man? Yeah, we got Brugal. What size you want it, man?
Let me get extra large.
Got you.
I'm pretty sure this
Pull
is
around,
Burger
please.
King in Newark.
Burger King New York is.
Wait a minute. What's happening here? Calvin, is this you?
It's the co-founder of Yep, I Like Wrestling. It's not.
Oh, goodness. Hold on. Let me go on break. Yo, Tyrone, I'm going on break. Yo, what's up, guys?
wait.
What's going on here?
Real quick, can you put in an order for me for a Big Mac?
Oh, okay. Man, this ain't McDonald's, man. Hold on. I got you. Hold on. We gonna go across the street. Hold on. I got you. What's going on, fellas? Happy Thanksgiving.
It's not Thanksgiving yet. It's Thanksgiving Eve.
Oh, Thanksgiving Eve. Yes.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
Well, as long as I didn't take anything out of Teddy's mouth. So anyway.
Oh, good times.
Oh, no. See, I wasn't gonna go there.
Hey.
Oh, Sonny.
I will hope not.
please don't get him started.
What April and I do is our business. Gentlemen, what shall we talk about tonight? Oh, shout out to the Brooklyn Wolverine.
Shout out to
Wow,
April.
that's left field.
So we decided to give you a call because we actually want to talk about War Games and Survivor Series. Do you have some time from your main job?
I do, yes. I've been having to work here since I stopped being general manager just to pick up a few dollars, and surprise, surprise, I make more money here, Sonny. Anyway, so yes, I can take a 30-minute break. And if I do it twice as an hour, so let's talk about War Games and Survivor Series.
Yeah.
You make more money in that break than you'll do it with Yep, I Like Wrestling.
Hey, listen. You know
True
what?
words have never been uttered. Yes.
You know, for someone that's the co-founder, you need to stay shut about that shit. Anyway.
Hey, I've been the co-founder for 8 years. I've never received a check.
Happy 8th anniversary. Sonny is so cheap, he can pinch a penny till the buffalo poops. I love it, Sonny. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Buffalo! That's an inside joke for me and Allison. Anyway, so this past weekend, we had War Games, or actually, as better pronounced, War Games, viewing party on Saturday, and we had a great turnout, and everybody that came through loved the show, were there for the show, and their eyes were glued to the TVs for this show. The funny thing is that Sunday we had a great turnout as usual, but it was more like everybody that was there was more for the hanging out with each other as opposed to the show. Like, I saw more people interacting with each other than actually watching the show. And it was still a great card, but it just made Kervin and I kind of have a discussion that day how Survivor Series doesn't hold the same weight that it used to. So, I mean, Kervin, would you break down your points that you were making that day?
It's lost its mystique. It's not what it used to be. When we were growing up, we grew up on the whole 5-on-5 traditional elimination match, or even the 4-on-4, and they kind of shied away from that over the years. I feel like the older you are, the more you appreciate that. The younger you are, specifically millennials, the less you appreciate that stuff.
Shout out to Liz.
True, very true.
So, and there's a lot of other reasons why I feel that Survivor Series has lost its mystique. There's several. I mean, the whole AEW factor in, as well as other wrestling companies like NWA, MLW, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
you look at Crown Jewel. Yeah.
You know what?
Crown Jewel, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at it, and the next thing you know, you had 2 weeks, 3 weeks to promote War Games and most importantly Survivor Series, and I feel like that's not enough time.
Yo, don't lie. You about to say chicken sink. You know what? I do that shit all the time, though. I'll be like, I'll say chicken instead of kitchen, so don't worry about it. But you're about to say chicken sink.
I mean, yeah, I was. It is Thanksgiving Eve, so I'm also thinking about food as well. But there's so many other reasons. But overall, Survivor Series 2019 had a great card. I mean, maybe a match or two dragged a little, like the Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt match, or even the women's triple threat match. Other than that, it was a really, really solid card from top to bottom, especially that men's elimination match, which I feel was one of the best men's elimination matches in a long time.
How about you, Teddy?
Well, first of all, going back to what you were saying about the viewing party, a lot of people do show up for the atmosphere because we have so much fun. You never know actually what's going to go down at Jack Dempsey's. You can come in for War Games and get live commentary from, guess what, the general manager and Sonny. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen when you come to a viewing party. So
that
next
was
time,
fun.
stop in at Jack Dempsey's. Yes. So, of course, they have a lot of fun. Now, gentlemen, we are all the same age, except for Sonny, by 3.
Fuck you.
Now, when I was a child, Survivor Series was actually on Thanksgiving, even though in England we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but it was on Thanksgiving Eve, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thanksgiving Eve or Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
One of them.
So after you and your family had actually eaten, and if you're lucky, your dad had a few drinks, so he was willing to part with $29.95 for the Survivor Series. And like Kermit said, it was the traditional 5-on-5, the entire show. Now, not so much. And back in the day, we had 4 pay-per-views, and that's it. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and then Survivor Series. Now you could have 2, sometimes 3 pay-per-views in the same month. I think it's a bit too much. It's oversaturated. It's sort of like when you use too much lube and there's no friction, Sonny. There's no friction.
Jesus Christ. I don't know about the. I mean, listen. It's.
Do you not have friction with But no, Sonny,
Listen, man.
you're doing it wrong.
Jesus Christ.
This conversation is going to a direction I didn't expect it would.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to
Sign up for this.
Doesn't it always with Teddy? But anyway,
Oh.
listen, we've had a lot of times where it's been oversaturated with a lot of shows and everything, but I also think there's a multitude of other factors that we're not really looking at when it comes to Survivor Series specifically. One, I think with the fact that they've kind of crapped the bed with Survivor Series so many times over the years
Oh, yeah.
that it's been, inconsistent with the format, that it's turned people off, especially when, it's not been the same over all these generations. It would be something totally different, then all of a sudden something else, and then it's Survivor Series where there's no real lineage that makes it go from year to year, generation to generation. So I think that's been one of the major issues behind it. But then also, like Kervin has said in the past, earlier and many other times, with so many other organizations, that leads to the fragmentation of wrestling fans in general. I mean, you have wrestling fans that now have an outlet with AEW where they're abandoning ship with WWE.
I mean, we are living in the golden age of wrestling, but it is also the age of oversaturation. And I mean, the Survivor Series, like Kermit said, it only had 2 weeks for a build-up. But honestly, when I watched it, I felt it was good. Thank God it wasn't as long as WrestleMania. I think the show was over by 10:30.
Yeah, it was.
That's one positive, the fact that it ended around 10:30 Eastern time.
Thank
That's
God,
definitely a
because there are
positive.
people still at MetLife Stadium trying to get home. So yeah,
From WrestleMania.
Yeah, but you know what though? Honestly, I mean, did it really end early? Because remember, they had a brand new episode of the new Stone Cold
Broken
Steve.
Skull.
Yeah, the Broken Skull thing. So it was like that's an extension of Survivor Series. Like you had to survive through Survivor Series in order to watch that, and they weren't gonna go that much later if they want this to be successful. So.
Well, you know what? If every pay-per-view ended with an interview that bloody good, I would watch it because the Rattlesnake and the Undertaker gave us a 2-hour interview that I was glued to the edge of my seat. That was interesting. So if they did that every pay-per-view, I'd have no problem. But unfortunately, they don't do that. Shows start at 2 in the afternoon. The pre-show is 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know anymore. So, that's why people get very disenchanted. But the actual card, like Kermit said, that men's match, oh, it was amazing. When Matt Riddle pinned Randy Orton, I nearly cracked myself. Like, what? NXT dominated. They dominated the entire show. Poor Raw only got 1 win. Raw never wins. Shout out to
I mean, Raw.
Shout out to STDs.
Shut up. Raw never wins, children. Pay attention.
That's a good one, bro. That's like one of the best ones you said.
Put a rubber on it.
Raw never wins. Oh man, you're an idiot. I mean, Raw. They don't have to win. They're the favorite. It's time to put over NXT and how Sonny was talking about how they've changed the format or whatever. They've changed the format around because it hasn't really been working, so they need to add something to it. They added a remix to Survivor Series, and that was with NXT. On top of that, NXT is battling AEW every week, so you get the big brother to help the little brother beat the bully by putting the little brother over. That was the objective of some Survivor Series 2019, was to put NXT over, make them look stronger, so then on Wednesdays people can say, wow, I really need to check out this NXT stuff. They have Keith Lee.
I'll ask you both. Do you think the addition of NXT was a good thing for Survivor Series? Did you two enjoy it? Because I loved it.
Can I just tell you one thing? My picks went to shit. All my picks from the last episode, total and utter shit.
Oh, prediction.
Yeah.
My predictions was fine. I only had like 1, maybe 2 wrong. And at first, I didn't like the NXT invasion part of it, but I'm a fan of whatever works for the business. And if this is what wrestling fans want, then I'm all for it. So overall, you know what? I can see why they did it, and it grew on me. And this event was the Survivor Series event was actually really good, and I think I know why it was done. It was done to put NXT over, so I'm all for it.
I don't know about that. I feel like that could have been a part of it, but I also feel like the fact that they didn't have much of a buzz, they didn't have a lot of time to promote, and the fact that they had so many PR nightmares going on between Jordan Miles and Saudi Arabia that it was the perfect time to just, break glass in case of emergency, to incorporate NXT. And now, where before Survivor Series I was like, I don't want to see this shit. All of a sudden I was like interested again. What about you, Teddy?
Well, I think of it as this. War, over the years, it's not been the best. SmackDown is normally the better show, but NXT delivers week in and week out. Their takeovers are usually the better pay-per-views out of all three brands. So Triple H is doing something well with these people. He's teaching them how to put on a show.
Very true.
I've never watched, and I'll be honest, I don't watch NXT religiously each week. I'm normally covering my shift at Domino's, but every pay-per-view takeover I've watched has really entertained me. So when you inject, yes, that's what I said, when you inject NXT into it, you can only help the product, and I think it did. Now, I wouldn't have let them win every match. I mean, for God's sake, Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, for heaven's sake, some of them didn't need to win, but I loved the addition of NXT. I really did.
No, the addition was amazing. I felt like they did it. It was almost like that card they had up their sleeve to pull out. Oh God, whenever they needed to.
No one pulls out. No one.
I knew you were gonna go there.
I pull out. Gotta pull out.
Gavin!
I mean, I pull out in other things. But to add what you guys were saying...
Yeah, you didn't have to be that obvious. We knew what you were talking about.
Yeah. Well, I do. But to add what you guys were saying, I understand the whole PR situation with Jordan Miles and everything going on in Saudi Arabia, but that wasn't the case. Yeah, that wasn't the case last year. Last year, I don't remember any PR situations going on, and they went through the same thing. And I remember there were rumors that they were going to take out the Saudi Arabia event right before the Survivor Series going to 2019, but they didn't do that.
Not
and
with the money that they
doing it to help out Survivor Series, and they did it.
Yeah, not with the money that they get in, bro.
The last big, major, oh my God, Survivor Series was when Sting came back. I think that was the last time Survivor Series wowed me until this year.
When who came back?
Sting. Didn't Sting come back at Survivor Series 5 years ago?
Yes. But that was a moment within the pay-per-view. But when was the last time that leading up to Survivor Series, it was a big, a big buzz to it?
I can't remember. The last buzz I had was the cocaine I did. I can't remember. I don't know. No.
Oh, God. Come on, Ted, you got to be serious, man. But then again, this is you.
It's like Sonny said, sometimes if they give a great build-up, the card isn't good. And sometimes the build-up is weak, and then the card is amazing. WWE is not consistent. And that's the bad part with them. They have so much time, and they can't deliver each week. So,
especially with like the in-ring wrestling and so on and so forth. And I personally think like the last time there was some type of buzz leading up to Survivor Series, I think it was 2011 when The Rock came back after 7 years. The thing with John Cena to face The Miz and R-Truth at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, shout out to The Rock. I think the last good Survivor Series they had was the Montreal Screwjob when everyone went to shit over Bret Hart. My word.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I think 2015 was actually good. But, I mean, Survivor Series has had a lot of history. It's had a lot of history.
It really has. But, people don't understand it anymore. I think because there's just so much other stuff to watch.
Millennials, they're not into the whole traditional thing. And not only that, like I mentioned 2011 when The Rock came back. You had The Rock, you had John Cena, CM Punk was on the roster. That's when that was the night that he won the WWE title to have the longest reigning WWE title reign at that time. they had these three guys, specifically The Rock and John Cena, and these guys are the faces of WWE. They're the faces of wrestling, along with a guy like Hulk Hogan, Bruno Sammartino. WWE does not have that right now. Hell, wrestling doesn't have that right now, and I feel that's missing. I just do.
That's true.
It's definitely a new breed of wrestlers. We don't have that face or that hero.
Yeah, exactly.
any longer
We need
because John Cena makes bad movies now, so we don't have that, megastar. But it's a new breed. It's really time for them to step up. But you can't step up when your product is lacking.
Well, usually the man or woman that steps up and becomes the face of WWE or wrestling makes everything else better. That's what The Rock did. That's what John Cena did. That's what Hulk Hogan did. That's what Andre the Giant did.
But what's so
there's not
funny?
many people that can fill those shoes. I'm taking it back.
You know what's so funny is the fact that even during the Ruthless Aggression era, where you didn't have, Undertaker was still around. Stone Cold was, not an active in-ring competitor. You had Brock Lesnar, you had Kurt Angle, but there was no one on that level of. John Cena was still fairly new, so you didn't have anybody on that Rock, Austin, later on John Cena level, Undertaker that would polarize a crowd and be that one gravitating, figure. But the funny thing was that you had a bunch of figures that were on the cusp, so the level was much higher than the level of stars that are out now. There's a lot of stars now, but they're nowhere near to even right below or on the come up like those people were back then during the Ruthless Aggression period.
I totally agree.
It's a different time now. It's a much different time. Everything is so micromanaged and policed, and every promo is scripted. With the Ruthless Aggression era, we were just coming off the Attitude era, so you had a little bit more flexibility with your character. Now everything is so bloody watered down and policed. It's really hard to sort of, have that breakthrough star that's really not. Given the go-ahead by Vince McMahon. Don't get me wrong, I love Roman Reigns, but it's just not him. It's not him.
No,
not. So it's a different time. The Ruthless Aggression era was probably the last era of, your chance to make it yourself without, but it's a much different time. Not to say that the Survivor Series this year was not entertaining, because watching Dominic get his ass whooped by Brock Lesnar was hysterical. I loved it. Yeah. And Rey Mysterio was dressed like Doink the Clown. I love it. It was beautiful.
You mean Rey Mysterio and Walter?
Oh, was that Walter? Yes. Oh, goodness.
You know what?
That was Walter in the ring. I saw Walter. What did you see, Sonny?
I thought that was Walter too, man. To be honest with you.
Oh, goodness. Dominic. And then he did the Five Frost Frog Splash. I was like, oh, Eddie Guerrero's not your father. You're not fooling anyone. Please.
Yo, when he did the 619, I was like, 619, 9.
Oh, goodness. And Brock Lesnar retained. It was amazing. Some of the people did some great, they put on great performances. I think the ladies did a very good job. I was very pleased. Ricochet came out dressed as a superhero. I thought it was a great show. And then it was over by 10:30. Perfect. Because everyone knows I like to get in and get out quickly.
Same here. And speaking of Walter, I felt he was eliminated too quick at the men's elimination match. They should have had someone like a Cassius Ohno in that spot. Walter is someone who, that has potential to be something special. And I felt that they did him wrong by getting him eliminated quick.
Yeah.
I agree with you that he was eliminated too quickly, but I think I know why they did it, because they really want him to be that spectacle you don't see often. So they wanted him out there for the shock value, but they didn't want to keep him out there too long. I think that's why. So maybe that's why. But there were a few eliminations that I was like, holy shit, that actually happened. Wow. Okay, like, what's her face?
Not cool.
The blonde ones. Lacey Evans eliminated Charlotte Flair. Like,
well, Charlotte.
Yeah, but that was kind of understandable because of the fact that she got green misted by by Asuka. So I mean,
I,
it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, she got eliminated the way she did, but it was because of someone else, and that's kind of excusable. But the one with like with Walter being eliminated so fast, that one is kind of not really that great, you know.
And I agree with Sonny. And also, it's Charlotte Flair. You can afford to have her as an early elimination. She doesn't really need that run in a Survivor Series match, elimination match. Kevin Owens was a quick one. Hey, he had his time the night before at War Games, being the surprise entrant. So it's little things like that.
I was actually surprised that because, dude, I forgot what the hell I was doing. I turned and then I think I went downstairs to the other floor, and then I came back up and I was like, "Hey, where's Kevin Owens?" And somebody was like, "Oh, he got eliminated." I'm like, "What the fuck? When did that shit happen?"
Nah, I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised by that at all.
I was surprised that the cage was able to fit Keith Lee and Kevin Owens at the same time. That was what I was surprised, and I was expecting it to implode. My, what do they build this ring with? Titanium? Jesus!
How many people were in the room? How many people were in the ring?
It was too much people, and that was with Keith Lee by himself in there. There were too many people already. Goodness.
And speaking of Keith Lee, I'm surprised he lasted really long in the men's elimination match. The fact that he was in the ring, just him and Roman Reigns, just them two as the last two remaining wrestlers out of 15, that's what I was surprised about.
Yeah,
I was surprised he lasted so long with type 2 diabetes. I was very surprised.
Oh, dude.
So long.
Dude, the views and opinions of Teddy do not represent the views and opinions of Yep, I Like Wrestling. Teddy, take health serious here.
You can't disclaim me. I don't work here anymore. And secondly, I didn't make him fat. He showed up fat. I didn't do anything. What?
I don't like giving out the disclaimers, but it's a health situation, so I have to.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I
He's
ain't
as big
gonna
as a duplex.
And if you notice, Sonny's quiet right about now. So
I ain't gonna front. I was gonna let that shit slide.
He was sitting next to me. He heard all the commentary firsthand.
That's too much, bro. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna let that one slide. Fuck it, that shit
and I'm
was
not
funny.
talking about too much sugar. I'm not talking about too much sugar.
Oh, good. Yes, he's too much indeed. Yes.
Too much
I don't know where he gets his spanks from, but they should be in NASA. That's all I'm going to say. I was very surprised there was not a wardrobe malfunction. And Kevin, but nothing beats the graphic of seeing.
Thank goodness there wasn't one.
Oh, thank goodness. I can't believe Adam Cole survived being dropped off the top of the cage through table.
Oh yeah.
My God.
Man.
Oh, poor Britt Baker. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked they mentioned her name during the telecast.
Oh shit. Yeah.
I'm shocked they let her in the building. My goodness.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked about that because it's been done before. But
Yeah, I was actually surprised that she
the
was.
fact that they announced her name.
Yeah, same here, man. But I mean, the weekend was really cool. Again, it really feels like Survivor Series is not the same. And you know what's funny is that we had a conversation about Survivor Series, Kervin and I, and another friend of ours, Eric. That was it was kind of dope. And Kervin, why don't you break it down? Because it was your thought process.
Yeah, well, Survivor Series is the weakest link between the four major pay-per-views in the WWE. And the New York Yankees have something called the Core Four, which is Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, Jorge Posada, and Andy Pettitte. And they've all won between 4 to 5 World Series championships between the years of 1996 to 2009. And I told Sonny that Survivor Series is the Jorge Posada of the Yankees Core Four. And we agreed that, we not only agreed with that, but we also agreed that Andy Pettitte is SummerSlam. And I told Sonny that Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera are WrestleMania and Royal Rumble respectively. However you want to put it. I really don't want to argue about it. I'm good with either or. So Sonny claims that Derek Jeter is...
Well, allow me to...
Go ahead.
Because, Kervin was non-committal on who was what. He was definitely trying to make the other Puerto Rican the weakest one, which is
Other Puerto Rican, he's Panamanian. His name is Mariano.
No. First off, I was talking about Posada. So he made the weakest one the Survivor Series, which is Jorge Posada. Then he made Andy Pettitte the one that was on Human Growth Hormones, SummerSlam.
Oh,
Hey, whatever. I guess SummerSlam is when everybody goes all out.
no, that's AEW.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Learn your craft. Right?
Oh, shit. Good point. You know
This is unfamiliar territory with Teddy in baseball.
Yeah.
Teddy thinks
Oh,
baseball is a
baseball?
sport
No,
where you,
Teddy's familiar with balls. Anyway,
Shit, you go that straight. But I thought you were all talking about hockey. Thank you. I had no idea.
well, anyway,
Didn't you tell me my house?
Yeah.
why?
Oh, that's
why,
fucked
Sonny,
up, dude. Anyway, the conversation led to our little debate regarding who is WrestleMania and who is Royal Rumble. I say that WrestleMania is Derek Jeter and Royal Rumble is Mariano Rivera. Reason
which
being,
I'm okay with.
yeah, dude, you were saying there was either or. You didn't want to commit.
No, there's the reasons. Well, the reasons you have that Derek Jeter is WrestleMania, I agree with.
Okay, so
And
let me
those
explain my
reasons-
reasons to
go ahead.
everybody because they weren't there with us at the table. So, Royal Rumble is a popular event amongst wrestling fans. Your general casual wrestling fan is not entirely familiar with Royal Rumble. They may have heard about it, but it's not something that's in their everyday jargon or their everyday or reference point. WrestleMania, on the other hand, is. You know what else is very common with people who are not wrestling fans or not baseball fans? Derek Jeter. Because Derek Jeter, when he was smashing all these supermodels, people who were not wrestling fans or not baseball fans knew exactly who Derek Jeter was because he was with the hottest chick. So Derek Jeter, like WrestleMania, transcends past the sport that they're tied to. Whereas Royal Rumble is for the rabid, hardcore fan that everybody wants to, definitely look out for. Hence the reason why Mariano was unanimous on Hall of Famer, which is the first time ever that's ever happened. And with Royal Rumble is just as popular as WrestleMania because all the wrestling fans come out to it because it's the first big event of the year. So that's why Mariano is Royal Rumble, Derek Jeter is WrestleMania.
And I agree with all of that. I'm okay with everything you just said. It's right. There's nothing, you said everything correctly. But there are some people who think Mariano Rivera is higher in the pecking order than Derek Jeter because he's the closer. Without him, a lot of people think the Yankees wouldn't have won 5 World Series. He was a unanimous Hall of Famer. To a lot of people, that's the epitome. That's the top. He's also the best in his position, and he's the closer. And WrestleMania closes out everything.
All right.
Closes out the storyline.
Kervin. Gun to your head. Which way you voting? Who's Royal Rumble?
I'm not doing this, buddy.
Gun to
I'm
your
not
head.
doing this.
Gun to your head. Who's Royal Rumble? Who is the?
I'm 50-50 on it, but I'm just saying Mariano's case for it.
Never mind. Teddy.
Can somebody put a gun to my head? Because I don't like this conversation any longer. I don't know any of these people. I don't
All right,
know.
so Teddy, how about this?
I don't know what sport this is.
Teddy, how about this? To go a different route, Teddy. Of the top 4 pay-per-views, which is Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, which one is Carrie? Which one is Samantha? Which one is
Miranda, Harry,
and
Samantha, and Charlotte.
So which out of the Sex and the City girls, who's who?
Goodness. First of all, I'm going to ignore the rabid homophobia that you have to equate this with Sex and the City, but I'm going to just
First off.
This is Sex in the City?
Yeah.
Okay.
First off, Teddy, am I wrong to ask you this?
No, because finally there's a show that I actually know. Because
Exactly.
I don't know Mariana Passato and Derek Guadalupe. I don't know what the fuck the other people's name was, but yes.
Yeah, but
I was
Sex and the City. Yeah.
I was trying to pay attention, but I was masturbating the entire time because I was bored.
Okay.
So now, we all know WrestleMania is the granddaddy of them all. That's the 7-hour pay-per-view. That's where Vince's, I think half of his yearly budget goes to WrestleMania. I read that somewhere.
Okay.
Or no, a quarter of his yearly budget goes to WrestleMania. So that's the big one. That's the star. That would obviously be Sarah Jessica Parker right there. Like,
A.K.A. Carrie
that's your
Bradshaw.
star. A.K.A. Carrie Bradshaw. Yes. I don't know. I've always felt that Royal Rumble is equally important or unimportant as SummerSlam, depending on the card. You know? Like, there was one year where the Royal Rumble had, 40 people in it one year? It was a year that they decided something different, and it sucked. But then there were some SummerSlams where the card was amazing, sometimes better than WrestleMania. So I've always thought that those two were on the same linear path. So those would be Samantha and Charlotte. And unfortunately, there has to be a bottom in every orgy. That would be Survivor Series. So, yeah, that's always the last one that no one really called. That's the Miranda. So, yeah, I understand the millennials. Like, out of the 4, there you go. But the problem is there are now 12 other pay-per-views that suck, respectively. We've got Extreme Rules and the Elimination Chamber and Kick Your Mother in the Head. I don't know the rest of the pay-per-views, but they all suck. Like, jeez.
All right,
TLC
so
and Vengeance and No Mercy and the Grand Concourse. That's the worst pay-per-view. I hate that one. That's the worst one of all of them.
oh God, the Grand Concourse. Imagine if that shit was an actual pay-per-view.
Shout out to Tara. Shout out to Tara.
When did Royal Rumble have 14 people?
No, 40. Didn't they do that one year?
40. I heard wrong. Yes, I remember they did have 40.
That was Blood Money 1.
Oh, Blood Money.
No, they had a regular
that's
Royal
right. Yeah,
Rumble in January with 40 people.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they did that one.
Like 2
Yeah, I
years
can
ago.
remember.
I remember Diesel being in it.
That's right. That's right.
Goodness. Shout out to Kevin Nash. He's 52 years old, but his knees are 60. It's so good. It's amazing.
65. They're ready for retirement.
Oh,
He actually tore his quad recently again.
just by waking up. That was the bad part. Like, all he
Let me
did was
guess.
wake up.
Because it was May.
Oh,
If he listened to this podcast, he'll tear a freaking quad.
Yeah.
oh, goodness. Yes. Oh, shout out to Kevin Nash. He's in Magic Mike. Not a bad film.
And
But
he
yeah.
tore his quad.
Oh, goodness. Tallest Squad and Magic Mike. So now that Survivor Series is in the bag, as the children say, now we are coming up to one TLC. There will probably be a viewing party at Jack Dempsey's, and I do believe it coincides with a certain birthday. Am I right, Sonny?
Yeah, it actually does. It's my birthday will be coming up around the same time as TLC, and we're going to do a viewing party / birthday party / live commentary with Teddy and myself.
Wow!
Yeah. If you've been to some of the past viewing parties where you're sitting close to us and we're doing our live commentary, you know that we could kind of get a little extra. So for this one, we're going to actually kind of go all out, pardon the pun, AEW, and actually do live commentary at this at the TLC viewing party. So it's going to be a fun time.
So now we're talking about the big 4 pay-per-views, but really, do you feel that Survivor Series has been a good lead-in to TLC, which is really the lead-in towards Royal Rumble? Like, do you feel that
No.
Do you feel that they've been good to lead each other in, or no?
No, they're like
No.
they're like
Yeah.
they're like triplets that were separated at birth. They're not related to I mean, same family, but they weren't raised together.
Shout out to Dominicans. Yes. That's the problem with
That's fucked
this.
up.
Oh God,
That's
no.
the problem.
Can't say he was wrong though. I know people personally, but anyway.
And I can make that joke. I'm a quarter Dominican. My father is also my uncle. Yes.
You guys do know I'm part of this conversation as well, right?
So
You do know I am Dominican.
You're about to say
So
part.
am I.
Yeah, you're quarter Dominican. I was born here in the United States, Yonkers, New York specifically, but both my parents are born in the Dominican Republic.
Allegedly.
Good stuff. But no, it's true. The pay-per-views don't coincide. There's no consistency. I'm not really terribly excited for TLC, besides the fact that someone's going to fly off a ladder. Shout out to Singara. So it's like, each pay-per-view should make you want to be in the next pay-per-view. Like, that's the thing.
In a perfect world, of course.
In a perfect world, yes.
Me personally, I'm not expecting TLC to be hardcore neither, because they've watered that down as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That's why we're gonna.
And Teddy, I know you like things hardcore, so I'm sorry. You won't
do.
be expecting that for TLC.
Yes. Shout out to Braun Strowman. Yes, I think, what was it? Extreme Rules had one extreme match? Like, what the hell? You might as well just call the pay-per-view Rule. Like,
Yeah, you're right.
and I think it was Natalia versus someone. It's crazy.
You know, one time I did a flyer with regular rules on it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, I understand. TLC is not what it used to be, but we shall see. Hey, that rhymed.
Yeah.
I'm rhyming. I'm Jesse Jackson. Check it out. Wow. Okay.
Keep hope alive.
You should become a rapper then, Teddy.
Oh, what would my rap name be?
Yeah, I mean, you could do it, man.
I think if I was to come up with a name, it would be the way. I'm gonna have to disclaim myself, but
We should do that. We should come up with a name for Teddy to become a rapper.
DJ Disclaimer, which is actually not bad, actually, now that I say it.
MC Disclaimer.
Oh, love it. Well, this is something for us to think about for our next conversation. Unfortunately, I have to get back to my shift at Burger King. So, gentlemen,
You're probably fired by now. You took like an hour, dude.
I'm the only one here. They can't fire me. Please.
well, I mean, they
The
can.
drive-through is probably freaking as long as freaking like at least 5 cars deep right
Yeah,
now.
I'm glad you corrected that because he was about to say it. Yeah, I'm glad you used a different word because you were about to step yourself into it. Because you know what he was about to say,
No,
right, Teddy?
I'm prepared. I know. I'm prepared. You know, I know what not to say for Teddy.
You know me too well.
Yeah. It took 100 and something episodes, but yes, I got you now.
Oh, good.
So real
But
quick,
before I go,
uh-huh.
what's that?
So
What's that, Tony?
I know, since we were talking about which of the core 4 from either Sex and the City or from the Yankees
Yeah.
would go with each pay-per-view of the top 4. But you know what? Hey, Kervin, what do you think would be your number 5 Yankee player to go with a number 5 pay-per-view?
Since we were talking about the core 4, there's always been talk about Bernie Williams because he kind of started with the core 4.
Okay.
And a lot of people consider that as like a core 5 unofficially.
All right.
Money in the Bank has always been like the 5th pay-per-view unofficially. They had their NXT one weekend. They were trying to make that into a big 5, the 5th one of the big 5 pay-per-views.
That's right.
But, Money in the Bank came out in 2009 or 10, if I'm right. But also Elimination Chamber, Hell in the Cell, and TLC came out in 2009, 2010. The actual pay-per-views.
No,
not the match.
I got you. But so if you had to put Bernie, so like, who's your so Bernie Williams goes with Money in the Bank.
I want to say Money in the Bank because they try to make it into a 5th pay-per-view. But Elimination Chamber is leading up to WrestleMania.
Okay.
And Bernie Williams was the first one up out of the 5 players.
Just pick one, bro.
It's tough, man. I want to pick. I want to pick Money in the Bank, but I also want to pick Elimination Chamber. It's really tough for me.
All right.
I'm deadlocked in both of them.
All right. So Money in the Chamber is your pick with Bernie Williams. Got you. All right.
Money in the Chamber. All right. Go with that then.
Teddy.
My porn name.
Yeah, that does sound like a porn name, right? Money in the Chamber. Starring.
Funny how Teddy spoke when he heard the word money. He can relate to that.
I think it was more for him. It was more about in the chamber. Teddy.
Oh wow! Yeah, you got that one.
Teddy.
3 minutes.
How about this? Throw the question to you. Instead, pick a pay-per-view that goes with a character. It doesn't matter who.
So since we dragged Sex and the City into this, I guess I will use that. I will say that besides the 4 ladies in Sex and the City, the 5th character of that show was New York City.
Okay.
That was the biggest character aside from the ladies. And I'm going to say Hell in the Cell because just like New York City, everything can be great or it can go to hell. And Hell in the Cell, it can be really good or really bad, i.e. The Undertaker versus Mick Foley. That's probably one of the most famous non-4 pay-per-views, that happened. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say Hell in the Cell will probably be my fifth favorite pay-per-view there. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I don't watch Sex in the City, but I think that was a great, great explanation from Teddy. He explained that very well and very relatable.
All right, thank you, Bronos. If I had to pick a Yankee comparison, I would actually pick the current manager of the Yankees, Aaron Boone, to believe it or not,
It's going to be good.
Great Balls of Fire. Because
shout out to Great Balls of Fire.
because Aaron Boone.
Why would you?
What, you gonna let me finish? Aaron Boone wasn't expected to make that big of a contribution. He was on a 1-year contract, and he hit a home run to basically propel the Yankees to go into the next round against the Boston Red Sox. And I think we won the championship that year. I think that was when we went against the Mets and won it all. And we actually, because of him, made it to the World Series against the Red Sox.
Yeah, no, we didn't. That was in 2013. We didn't win the World Series that year.
That was 2013.
That was 2013. We didn't win it all.
No, you're right. It was actually the year. It was the year before the Red Sox actually won it all. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, it was a big home run. It wasn't expected to do, and yes, he did sign a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
it wasn't expected much, and then he was replaced by A-Rod. So whatever pay-per-view replaced Great Balls of Fire is A-Rod.
Yeah, and that was 2000. That was 2004, not 2014. But
no. You're right. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. No. It was 2003. It happened in 2003.
Yeah.
It happened in 2003. I mixed up 2013 and 2003.
But anyway.
It was October, if I'm right, it was October 16th, 2003.
I get it.
Jesus, he has it right down to the
and what was the time that it happened? But anyway, no. Just joking. I don't want you to actually look it up.
Brett Boone was in, his brother Brett Boone was in the, he was commentating that game as well.
Okay.
I remember that. So, sorry guys. There's too much baseball on the wrestling podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So, like Aaron Boone doing what he did, Great Balls of Fire did the same thing because it was a one-time pay-per-view that actually exceeded expectations and was actually a pretty good one, man. And it was both in recent memory.
That's a great analogy, man. I really like that one.
Thank you.
I just love it because of the name, Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, and I thought Teddy would appreciate it.
Or you could just say sex with a girl from Crown Heights, because pretty much it's the same thing. Great Balls of Fire.
I wish you said East New York. I really do.
Oh, shout out to East New York. Oh, goodness.
Shout out to Grudges.
Oh, goodness. Yes.
So yeah, okay, cool. So, that was fun. I kind of like when we bring a little bit of outside of wrestling into inside of wrestling to just I
love these type of analogies.
Yeah, and comparisons. It's fun. But
the funny part of this whole thing is Teddy can't say "take us home, Sonny" because we're all already home.
Actually,
yes.
what Teddy can't say? I gotta go flip some more burgers.
We're all out. We've run out of burgers. We can't sell that anymore. Sorry.
What are you selling now?
Sorry.
Too bad you're not in White Castle because usually White Castle's packed on Thanksgiving Eve.
Is it?
Oh, good fucking racist ass White Castle. My God. It's
Why?
Caucasian
Castle. I'm being serious, man. White Castle does well on holidays. Valentine's Day, Christmas.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now, White Castle in the Bronx ain't white. It's more like beige.
Oh, shout out to babies. Well, gentlemen, I am going to go and poke my eyes out after listening to those baseball analogies. But before I go, Devin, Sonny, happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen.
Same to you, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Teddy. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Kervin. And most importantly, and happy Thanksgiving to you, the listener. Thank you so much for listening to this, following us, supporting us, and either coming to a viewing party, sharing our flyers, and everything else. We are thankful for most of all you for being there for us. So
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
exactly. So on behalf of this episode, my name is Sunny Sofrito, and today I was joined by.
Irvin, a.k.a. Katie Swagger, the co-founder of Yep, I Like Wrestling.
And I was also joined today by, via his side job,
The former greatest general manager in Yep, I Like Wrestling history.
thanks for
And the current burger flipper at Burger King.
I'd make the best Whoppers.
now go get the mop. Yo, peace out,
Oh.
everybody. Have a great weekend and enjoy your holiday.
Bye.
Suck on that, turkey.